director, the initial question will be from me because it's actually the question that was already asked
Also,
to some extent. So clearly we see the...
You have, yes.
Right.
I have a question, see, but when you are ready.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this will be the second question. Now, I just wanted to ask, we see clearly the number of contracts, the number of pledges. So the demand is multiple times more than the possible supply. Some of the recommendations, like fulfill those pledges, are just impossible with the current supply, with the current production lines. So again, the question is, shouldn't be the standard top policy a full waiver on intellectual property rights on vaccines, but also on the equipment that is, you mentioned all these technologies related, and then a broad program of technology transfer to the global south so that they do not rely on donations and they do not rely on charity, but so that they can ramp up the production themselves.
Should I take?
Or we can, as you please.
I can talk about copyrights. Yeah, copyrights is a very touchy and difficult issue. It's not, to me, a clear cut for the following reason. To produce a vaccine, you need a know-how, which means that not only you have, it's not like a recipe to bake a cake. You need somebody sitting with you and helping you to know all the tricks, how to do them. We talk with Moderna, for instance. Moderna is the Cambridge-based company which was first in mRNA, and they announced they will not sue anybody for the copyright if they infringe the copyright. But the problem is that they cannot produce in India. We talk also with producing in India because they say, well, we know the recipe, but you need people from them, 100 technicians coming here and teaching us how to do. So it's not just really give the copyright. You need an active collaboration of everybody. So we can win the battle on copyright, but will not be. Second problem, the copyright, as I said, to produce a vaccine, you need a lot of intermediate inputs. Nowadays, the bottleneck is not so much the copyright, it's all the intermediate inputs. So maybe we give the copyright to India, they know how to produce, but they lack the 2-3 ingredients to ramp up production. So the copyright discussion is very important for the future, though, because we know malaria, we have, name it, we have a lot of things that we need to fight about global diseases. But it's not that you give the copyright and you solve the problem, unfortunately.
Thank you. Professor Zamani?
Yes. Thank you, Antonio, for your presentation. I have a specific question, if you would like to answer. How do you account for the fact that Kristalina Georgieva has been attacked very recently in a very indecent way? In other words,
it's our friend.
The law firm,
which
is called Wilmer Hale, has produced that report, which is based on false data in order, because perhaps, do you think that it has something to do with her excellent response to the pandemic? Because she was in favor of COVAX, and perhaps that disturbed other people. And so the World Bank, you see, paid this law firm to produce a document which is full of lies and full of... Now, apart from the personal fact, what is your explanation of what is happening? Because we are talking of two major international institutions, the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. Now, if you are embarrassed, you cannot.
Should I answer in English or Latin?
Sorry?
Could I ask in Latin?
In Latin.
Latin.
You can
Latino.
reply in Latin. Yes.
Nation. No.
In Latin, we can manage.
No. Obviously, I cannot respond to these questions. But as much as I love I think very highly of Kristalina. I cannot answer this question, unfortunately, because it's yes. Mm,
Okay.
in Latin or English or Bolognese.
Okay, thank you. We understand the situation. Now, I think there is a lot of voices, so let us establish the schedule. Monsignor, then.
So
And Rocco.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, fine, Jeremy. Okay. Monsignor Sorondo?
So I want to ask sincerely, because this is the question. If this
Tough one.
policy are nothing to do with this idea to express the theologian Pope Ratzinger, once he say, is man is no longer a gift created by God, but a pure product of our doing. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is that you can say as other things we can destroy, we can use, is an other thing. It's no more a person. So what is the mentality of these people to do this? This is the question. In what sense do they have influenced the anthropology? We speak this morning about this anthropology. The anthropology that was the anthropology of the European countries. The human rights in the end.
I agree. What I try to show that is not only a technical problem, it's a political problem. The political system, unfortunately.
It's problem of money. I say Pope Francis, rasca, e c'è il soldi.
But it's not even a problem of because there are a lot of vaccines there that could be wasted. So it's not simply money. Because if it were a problem of money, you have 100 million doses. Why don't you donate to Africa tomorrow?
No, but the Africans are not disposed to pay.
Yeah. Sorry, but you don't even need to waive. Are already there.
In my country, was a problem of money. Was a problem of money. They was disposed to pay some quantity and not the quantity that they want, and they do not have the vaccines. And I'm sure that Africa is the same. It's a problem of money. It's clear. What is the reason that they don't communicate the formula to the vaccine, to the other laboratory, for example, to the Italian? The Italian have the possibility to do this and other thing. But what is the reason that they can do this? No, this is the question, because in the country we speak about all things, but not the real problem.
I think yes, but it's also a problem of really.
And also the question that put for our friend Georgieva, it's clear that it's something ideological. This is the opinion of Sachs. This is the opinion of Stiglitz, our academician. So we follow this opinion.
Monsignor, as much as I agree, let's give the chance to reply to this question to the rector.
Yeah. No, yeah, if you want, we can talk on private about Kristalina.
Or you can answer in dialect.
But to me, the most puzzling thing is not the economic, it's the political decision of not giving the vaccine, even existing vaccine. This is, to me, is even more surprising. We know that countries have some deposit of vaccine, and we know that in few months they have to throw them away because vaccines don't last 6-7 months. And we know that it even costs a lot of money keeping the vaccine because you have to keep. Despite this, they decide not to give them. They are afraid that the new variants comes, they need to vaccinate everybody again, and some vaccine will not work. And they are afraid of the political backlash they could have if they say, oh, this politician donated zillions of vaccines and our population don't have. I think it's a problem of the political system, it's just economics.
But what is the reason that the political system not work?
Yeah.
Money.
nation.
It's a great discussion. Let's continue it on the panel itself. Now, Professor Buttiglione.
Well, I don't know how we are with time. If we have not much time, I can put this question later in the general discussion because it has a broader
Yes,
dimension.
let's do that because we have 2 minutes, maybe.
Well, in this case,
Great, thank you so much. So, Jeremy, the final question.
Just a quick question. Have you accounted for long COVID at all in your cost benefit calculations?
No. No, we didn't account for long COVID. No, we didn't account for long COVID. And I must confess that economic models are not good. Well, they were not designed for COVID, so we had to be very creative in how to put COVID. One challenge we have is that I think people over time are learning to live with the pandemic. So the economic effect become less pronounced. At the beginning of the lockdown, economic activity simply stopped. Every single indicator stopped. Electricity. Over time, you see that people learn to move a little bit and not to lose too much of their economic ability. It's not. It's a good sign, sometimes that is. But this complicates a lot in terms of modeling. Because when you model, you have to make some assumption about the pandemic and a second step from the pandemic to the economic activity. And this second step became loose over time.
Can I just really quick? Just very quick.
Okay,
Really
but super brief.
If nothing changes,
Yeah.
how long before everything goes dark blue on your map? If the plan continues as it is, at what point does everybody?
Oh, that is a good question. I think that in some African countries, they go to 2023 and so on. I think depends very much, yes.
Thank you so much. Just looking at the Polish situation, we already are unable to fit your model, so it might be very difficult. Thank you so much, Director.